right, up next, I have Elaine Nelson with Look How Lucky We Are to Be Alive. Hamilton, the Man, the Musical.
Thank you so much. So yes, the title is Look How Lucky We Are to Be Alive Right Now. So all about Hamilton, the musical, and its catchiness, compelling, complex nature, and what it means to why you might want to watch it. All right, there we go. So this is Hamilton. It has won a Grammy, a Pulitzer. It is nominated for 16 Tonys. You can buy the cast album, but if you want a ticket, it's like zillions of dollars, and it's sold out till next year anyway. And so somebody asked me why. Why is it winning all the things? Why do people get so crazy obsessed about it? And really, there's three big things. The first is that it is incredibly catchy. It has a great story, and it has a complex narrative. So talking about music is kind of dancing about architecture. So instead of trying to tell you how catchy it is, tell you a little bit about all of the different kinds of music that go into making it so compelling. So first of all, yes, it's a big Herkin musical. There are jazz hands. There are big dancing numbers. People belt out songs. They've got costumes on. So if you like that, there's that part of it. Even if you're, there's this guy. So this is Biggie Smalls. And the musical also draws from a great deal of rap and hip hop music. So not just this guy, but Eminem and Rakim, if you're thinking about anybody from, say, the early 80s until last week. And then other kinds of music, so it draws from R&B. This song really pulls from Beyonce and her work. It's got, dance hall and boogie woogie and everything you might think of, all the way up to these guys. So yes, so King George, so the British invasion is personified by the songs of King George III as he's talking about his colonies as they slip away from him. But it's all really a story about this guy. So the guy on the bill, before this kind of like, I think he got shot in a duel and he's on the 10 and he's kind of good looking, right? But what do we know? Not much. So it turns out he has a really interesting story. He was born in poverty. He was an orphan. He was living in the Caribbean and came to New York to go to school when he found himself in the heart of the revolution and getting excited about it and writing and participating in the army. And he ended up as General Washington's chief of staff. So he wrote all the paperwork that he needed and made sure everything was organized, and ended up as one of the drafters of the Constitution and writing the Federalist Papers. And he was also kind of a jerk, like he was super, super smart, but he made sure that everybody knew it, and so he attracted a lot of enemies, and he had a lot of hubris, and he ended up in America's first major sex scandal. And that's why he's never going to be president now, because he wrote 70 pages about how it wasn't corruption, it was an affair. And so he did end up getting shot, and he wasn't just shot, he was shot in a duel with the Vice President of the United States, in the same place where his son was shot in a duel a couple of years earlier, which if you read that in a piece of fiction, you'd be like, psh, no way, that would not ever happen. But it happened. And okay, so this is the final piece. It is 144,000 words in 2.5 hours. It is the fastest Broadway musical ever. And so there's this incredible, dense complexity in the story, in the narrative. So the same song can have direct quotes from South Pacific and Mobb Deep. And it's not just that it's diverse, but those have relationships to who the characters are that are using those lines and how they use them and how it comes back into their character arc. And then the casting itself has a great deal of complexity. So the performer who plays Lafayette, who is Hamilton's friend in Act 1, in Act 2, he's playing Jefferson, who's Hamilton's foe. And so it shows this arc of the characters. And then there's a lot of words. There's a lot of words. And the internet loves making things out of words and finding those complexities. And so people play with it a lot. And so once you start to listen to it, you discover fun things that people have done. If you go to genius.com, of course my thing got cut off, there is a full annotation where people from all over have found all of the little historical allusions. Well, how many people were killed in that battle? And did that really happen that way? And so I would say listen to it for yourself. Oh, wow, those are yellow. The Timberland Library, you can check it out. You can actually download it from online from their Hoopla service. YouTube, Spotify, all the usual places. And enjoy. Thanks.